Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back for Roll. Sorry about that. Music decided to go off twice. Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Second Breakfast. Looks like we got DM James over here waiting in the wings, or at least a strange facsimile. How you doing, bro?
Hey, man.
What's up? What's happening? What you got
Um,
black?
I am painting gigantic funnel web spiders.
Always fun. Always fun.
And I like to make the mandibles like some kind of bright, toxic looking colors that, the
hmm
mouth
hmm
parts. I think that way when you put them on the table, the players just know that this is not something to mess with.
Well,
I love the
that should be
pose
the
too.
case with everything, kind of. You know,
Well, yeah, but I mean,
typical.
some things they're like, yeah, we can mess with that. But see how they
Mhm.
sculpted it so that's actually standing up like it's getting ready to get you, so
Is that a Whiz Kids?
that is a reaper.
Oh, okay.
Costs four
Yeah,
bucks so
I've got a crap ton of different spiders. Some of the best ones I've ever seen were the Archon Studio spiders, but they're either really, really small or monstrously huge, like that one. What's up, DM James? He gets those over where he lives, apparently. Um, we
oh, is
just
it
get Black
same
Widows.
cell?
Yeah, we just get Black Widows here, and they're sneaky.
Yeah, I've kind of been an arachnophile since I was a little kid. Like, I like spiders, not that I want to keep one as a pet, but I just think they're fascinating. And the funnel web is one of my favorite.
Mhm.
We have funnel webs in America, but they're not anything like as fearsome as the Australian ones. And like I was watching a show the other day where they're talking about this one female funnel web they're keeping track of, and it had lived over 30 years and it didn't die of old age. When they went there, someone had killed it. But there was an actual, scientist that
Well,
was,
that was because it kept invading their dreams, and they had no choice.
yeah. So I think spiders are pretty much an amazing creature, you know.
I think, so many things in this world, they get the white hot phosphorus or the wood chipper.
I can understand why you would feel that way, but I think if you were to take just a moment to visualize how important they are to your safety, that you might think differently.
Well, see, I'm actually of the opinion that every single thing that has more than four legs should get the white hot phosphorus from ants on up.
Yeah, that'd probably destroy the whole world.
I'm okay with
If you
that.
removed all the insects, it'd probably just destroy all life on the planet. Died from smoking. It was way out in the middle of nowhere under a tree. And basically, somehow, even though they'd been studying it every year for like 3 decades, somebody had wandered up on it and killed it.
Well, was the studies like on TV or something like that so other people could see it?
They were documenting it. So I don't know if I mean, Australia, I don't know what they do over there. I'm still
Mhm.
not sure it exists. But regardless, this funnel web was big too. This thing had to be like a tarantula sized funnel. It was big.
Yeah, I saw a wolf spider in Virginia. It was like a gray tarantula, but it was it was about that big, but thick and juicy looking. Whereas if you splat it, it would splat as opposed to just go crunch. I never went back to that guy's house again.
Well, I have played with, held whatever, like a rose haired tarantula, which are from
Mhm.
Mexico. And unless you actually harm them, those things are not going to bite you. And even if they do, you'd have to be allergic to them for anything negative to happen.
Mhm.
Uh, but there's this guy, I think he's in Malaysia or the Philippines or wherever he is, and he raises spiders. like all
Mhm.
kinds. And so I learned from this guy that apparently they divide all the big spiders into old worlds and new world, right? And we're lucky because all the new world spiders tend to be very non-aggressive. Whereas apparently the old world ones, like in India and Southeast Asia, tend to be freaking bastards. That actually
Well,
got
it's kind of like vampires. The older they are, the nastier they are. I think.
yeah. And what's sad is the prettiest spiders are all the old world ones.
Oxymoron there.
Yeah,
You
they're the
waving
ones
around
that are like got the electric blue stripes and they just look like really, really cool. But every time he kind of opens the tank to feed them, they attack him. They're like out for blood right off the bat, and the guy tells you about it. He's trying to water this spider and it's literally attacking the straw he's sticking in to give it water. Whereas the New World tarantulas, I mean, he can reach and pick those things up and let them walk on him and stuff. And they're just like, whatever, man. Even the big bird eating spiders, they're not really aggressive to humans. And they don't generally eat birds, but they are as big as a damn dinner plate. But yeah, the ones that live in like Thailand and shit like that, apparently, if you're walking through the high
Oh,
grass,
dude.
you're one,
Um,
they'll
I,
eat
I
you.
I used to date this girl who was Thai, and she went back home, and she woke up one morning with some monstrous, like you said, dinner plate sized spider latched onto her arm like this. Woke up screaming, trying to, do something to get it to leave her. She had quite the mark when she got back. It was must have been freaking nightmarish.
I don't even like hearing that story. I mean, being asleep and having a big freaking angry, aggressive spider climb. And I like spiders, but I don't mean I want one to eat me, but
Not even a little nibble.
mm-mm. Some of them though are just a lot more aggressive than others. That's kind of the way it is, you know. Australia has both types of tarantulas. Some are they consider more like New World. They're like docile, and some, if you get near them, they're
Gonna
ready to
eat
go,
you.
boy. So
So how's your
Australia.
weekend, bro?
What are you talking to L?
No, well, both of you. How was your weekend?
Well, it was Easter
Hmm.
for me, and I talked to the dungeon master a little bit, which was nice. I hadn't heard from him for a while, but he sent a message wishing me a happy Easter. I sent him back, happy belated Easter because they celebrated the week before.
That's it.
And then I talked to Alexander Macris, same thing, happy Easter. Because Macris, I don't know if he's really hardcore about it, but he was Greek Orthodox, maybe still is Greek Orthodox. So for like as long as I've ever talked about Adventure Conquer King, I always wish him Easter and Christmas, And,
Certainly.
I don't think we're friends or anything. I mean, he has offered to come on the channel. He said he'd come on my channel and let me interview him, but I'm like, that's I'm not good at that. I'd probably
Hmm.
just piss him off. So just yesterday was just, I mean, it started out really good because it was Easter, and then family. We got like 5 phone calls from various family members, so it kind of got stressful from there, because
How so?
my wife has a psych degree and she's really easy to talk to,
Uh,
and everyone treats her like that. So when anything goes wrong in anyone's life, and she has to sit on the phone with them for 2 hours and talk them off their ledge or whatever. And
Yikes.
I have good news though. You'll be happy for me because I'm super happy for me. This Mother's Day, we're driving up to visit my mother.
Nice. Nice.
So I'll get to visit my beloved Kentucky for a week. and it probably won't have any snow or anything, but hopefully it'll still be cold.
Yeah, it actually turned like really cold. It rained the other day. Jackie's in bed with the flu. It's like back to winter already, and you know, by our standards where we live, it should be 90 degrees already. Instead, it's like 45.
That El Nino's effing everything up. Isn't that what it was? They called it the El Nino,
I
some kind
guess.
of
I guess.
weather pattern out there.
Mm-hmm.
I had axe and I had a few of the other materials, but the group didn't take off. That is too bad, James. It was okay
Yeah.
for us, but I also game with a lot of people who absolutely, like myself, are into Eastern or later period Rome. And since the setting for Adventure Conquer King is basically uh, toward the end of the fall of Eastern Rome, um, like everything in it is Roman, instead of the Castilian at the fort, it's the legatus, and it's not the keep, it's the fort on the borderland, and on and so forth. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so yeah, that is right up our alley. We liked it quite a bit. The only reason we stopped playing it is because people wanted to go back to my homebrew because they missed their characters and they were involved in the middle of like a civil war. So they wanted to go back and do that. But yeah, right now I'm painting those big four-armed gorillas. I'll show you one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too, James L. Nice.
I gotta do the teeth. I'm thinking the skin. I might actually do just a darker brown.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think apes have like a dark brown or black skin.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can see the skin on his chest and on his muzzle there. So,
Yeah, right now I'm just working on these railroad tracks, mantic pieces for like a
the dwarven mindset.
kind of yeah.
Nice.
And I picked up a couple of these. I think they're supposed to be dark elf, just rank and file with halberds or some sort of weird pole arm, and they're also reaper.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Finishing up the giants, I finished up the vehicle and the crane, and I'm waiting for my order from Gnomish Bazaar to finish off this beholder.
Oh, that's cool.
It's an old Hackmaster beholder, and I've got a second one over here that's been sitting in pieces for like the better part of a decade, thinking that it was like an old, mini figs or some older 70s or 80s miniature, but it was actually a year 2000 from Kenzer and Company, and I just need to find a flight base, and I'll actually have two beholders, in which case I'll paint them opposite color scheme. One is sort of a greenish yellow with purple, tentacles and stuff, and I'll do it the other way around with a purple beholder with greenish tentacles. So I have like sort of like bookend beholders.
Friggin' Shadow, you got figures older than I am.
Almost. I think I have some from 75.
Yeah, so that's
So
gross.
mhm. I'm getting ready to do. I was talking about this Saturday. I'm getting ready to do a video of how minis have changed from the 70s to now, including some of the old mini figs, the old Tucumel, Empire of the Petal Throne figures that I have laying around, Grenadier, Walpartha, through Heritage, Archive Reaper,
On
to
that.
the plastic, because there have been
Like,
some significant changes.
well, yeah, the older miniatures were smaller,
Mm-hmm.
much
25
smaller.
mil.
They weren't as detailed as modern figures, but I
Oh, God, no, not
also
even close.
hold that some modern figures and the 40K players out there, they'll feel it. They're too detailed. I mean, when you pick up like a modern 40K Chaos Warrior, there's so much going on. that
Hmm.
it's busy looking. It just don't, it's like,
Hmm. Especially at that small scale, you have to do a lot of. You have to be really good at either dry brushing or edge highlighting to do all the intricate details of the armor that I find kind of funny because it seems like they all have the same design
well, they
on
do.
their
They only
armor,
make, a few different
which
types.
is not very chaotic if you ask me. Chaos, everyone would have like completely different armor, and that's not possible. But you start to notice, hey, it's like, hey, you've got the exact same freaking design, pattern on your you know bits there. What's up with that?
It's like, hey, every single corn berserker looks exactly alike. They've changed that now, but
Mhm. Yeah, because
flamethrower.
I have some of the Chaos Marines from that. I forget what edition was that had the box set came with like some bikes for the Death Angels and a Chaos Dreadnought. Um,
Yeah, that was what do they call that. They don't call it a dreadnought anymore. They call it like a hellborn or something like that.
Whatever, it's a Dreadnought.
Yeah, it's
But
absolutely a
I still
dreadnought.
have those pieces, and I just bought the pieces off eBay because it was cheap. Because you know how when like a new edition comes out, people will like buy a bunch of the box sets and then like piece them out.
Yeah.
So I just bought a bunch of that stuff for like dirt cheap because nobody wanted the particulars that I was buying, or it was an auction, and I'm like, what, 3.99? Yeah, I'll bid, see what happens, and people forget.
Well, the big problem with that set Shadow was that was kind of the beginning, kind of, but not, of when Games Workshop started making monopose. So if you ever do put those Marines together, every Marine in that box, Chaos Marine especially, is a monopose figure. It can only go together one way. And if you try to put it together, like if you're like me and you clip all the parts out and you think you're just going to put them together like you used to
Mm.
in the old days, that shit will not work.
The Archon Studio is kind of like the same way. They look at, they've got both things going on. They've got arms and legs that have to go in this position, right? But then they give you like sprue after sprue after sprue of weapons that you can put in, and little bits and daggers and sheaths and pouches and stuff
Right.
like that, like all kinds of crazy cool little bits. But then you know, uh, like I've got stacks of sprues of nothing but weapons, and I don't even remember what set they go for anymore. And you know that because of the like intricate detail on the hafts and the handles, and that they're probably meant to go with these guys. But I don't give a shit anymore. Uh,
I got to figure we'll see if James L can guess since he knows a lot about history. I'll have to hold it up and see if he can get a look of it. See if I can make myself stop shaking a second.
Hold on, let me blow you up so maybe it'll make it easier. It's hard to tell those helmets. They kind of look like German helmets.
They are.
Okay.
I'll give you guys a hint. It's World War II.
Desert.
Nope. Eastern Front. I only play Eastern Front.
I grew up, my old man being a Desert Core fan and watching Rat Patrol. So, and then I end up living in the desert, so I could easily see playing, Rommel's stuff. Um,
Yeah. Oh, I'm not talking bad about anybody that likes playing Africa. I just prefer um not a Pack 38-6. This weapon, I don't know why Warlord Games even put it out because it's like I can barely even find the thing. Where'd Shadow go?
oh, I blew you up, which puts me away.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, I know.
but
I was just
apparently
trying
it
to
is an
keep up with James's
8.8.
chat so they could put them on the screen, and I'm slow.
Okay. It's an 8.8 centimeter recoilless rifle that only the Panzer Grenadiers used and is called a Pupchin. And so if you make a Panzer Grenadier unit like First Grossdeutschland, Panzer Grenadiers, they would pull this thing behind the command Hanomag. And then if they, thought they needed to deal with something heavily armored, they'd send the crew out to set it up and pop shots, right? Uh, so it's actually a very rare thing. I don't think they made a lot of them. Yeah.
That
No,
is
the Pac
probably
36 was like a 50 millimeter.
this has got to be an interesting story. Our coffee table comes from the Western Desert Campaign. Ree, that's his girlfriend's great uncle, brought it back from Cairo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
that
cool.
is very cool. I my old man had like when he passed away, he left me a bunch of stuff. I'm just gonna say that I, for reasons, got rid of, and now Jackie gets mad at me anytime I bring it up because there was some historical value, but I was pretty broke and just getting rid of anything that could get money so that I could literally buy proper clothes for the new job that I had picked up. So nothing I could do about it. And for the most part, if I wanted anything like that, I could just find it on eBay and buy it. We've bought some historical things, and Jackie and my friend Grim, not the other Grim, the good Grim, the not pervert Grim, sent us some stuff from the Spanish Civil War, some medals and patches and things like that are now in Jackie's little treasure box of really cool stuff. And I see stuff on eBay all the time. I can just you know grab it, but you know.
Well, I have a World War One Prussian stormtrooper uniform, hat and all,
Uh-huh.
and I did manage to find I think it's a recreation. I'm pretty sure it is, but the German close combat medal from World War One. It's got like crossed bayonets, and so I put a couple of little medals on it to make it look away, and
That's cool.
I put the shoulder boards on from like the 200 and whatever infantry. Unfortunately, I got it for cosplay, but when I wear it, people don't. I spend so much time explaining that it's not
Hmm.
World War II.
The same thing with the Swiss Army jacket we got. I picked one up for $10 from a Great Outdoorsman or something, that big company. $10, mind you, this was 25 years ago.
Right?
But $10, a freaking thick ass wool trench
I had
coat
one,
with no goddamn inside pockets. What the hell? Who the hell makes any kind of jacket without inside pockets, right?
and when I wore mine, people would be like, "What's that?" And I'd be like, "Look at the buttons. There's a Swiss cross on them."
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep. And it's got those big ass cuffs. They're like
Yeah.
almost as long as the forearm. I mean, you could freaking hide a flask in it if you wanted. Just keep your left arm down all the time, and you could have kept a flask. Like James was saying, his grandfather's cigarette case. That's got to be pretty cool. Send us a picture of that if you get the time.
He's got the flight logs from the grandfather that fought in the Philippines.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a different era, man. That was a different era. That was when everybody was cool.
right.
Nowadays,
Jackie and I were talking about and watching some videos about how people dressed back then. Up until
oh
the
yeah,
late 50s. God, I wish if I had three, that would probably be one of them to bring that all back. Can you imagine how much
you mean
like
like when people dressed like they actually had self-respect and didn't
yeah,
wander
yeah,
into
yeah, yeah.
Walmart
Not
in their
mind you, I was at the grocery store. It
pajamas?
was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and every other person was in their pajamas.
Yeah, it's like meanwhile in the 40s and 50s and even 30s,
They
almost
didn't go out without
everyone
a suit and tie.
was
Oh,
wearing
oh,
a
if you want to
suit,
pick
a
up a
tie,
carton of
had a
milk, better
hat.
put on a tie, right?
That's just I think we as a civilization just being like whatever.
I mean, is there anywhere left on the planet that actually still does that? Like maybe deep Argentina or
Japan.
something. Yeah, Japan. Well, no, I
If
watch a
you're a
lot of videos about.
salaryman in Japan, you wake up every day, put your black suit on.
Right. No, but but that's a small slice, maybe even a large slice. But they still have people sleeping on the streets. From
Well,
whatever
you're
reason.
always going to. I mean, if you watch those old like Philip Marlowe movies, there were still homeless people hanging out wearing like
Mhm.
hobo stuff. But if
But
you
even they
could
had
afford,
a proper hat. Maybe even a tie. You know,
yeah, well, everybody had a hat. You had to have a hat if you're a man. That was
that's a
just a
great way
given.
of putting it, James.
And
Informality is a virus.
and no one grew beards unless there was a damn reason for it. That was the remember they had that song about shaving cream, stay nice and clean, shave every day, and you always look keen. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is like if I went back to the 1930s, unless I become a priest, people would be looking at me like I was out of my mind walking around like this.
Or from a certain area,
Or Russian, because in Russia, a lot of people believe if you don't grow a beard, you're not a man.
and the Middle East.
I don't care what those
People
guys
here
do.
dress up for horse races so they look nice when they're vomiting at the bus stop.
Yeah, James L. I'm sure you've probably got to watch a Kentucky Derby. Those people dress up like they dress up like antebellum days. You know what I mean? The big
Mhm.
ball gowns and the hats and the whole 9 yard. I mean,
Yeah, we gotta try to bring that back. I mean, we don't have much time to do it, but you know,
well, I saw a video where this guy, he's a pretty handsome guy to begin with, but he dressed up exactly like the guys on the show Pinky Blinders dress up.
the Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, so he had like the hat that was
Hmm.
down, but he had the long coat and the vest and everything.
Hmm.
And he was just walking down the street in London, and like everyone was just stopping and staring.
Hmm.
And I mean, in a good way. Like the women were watching him and being like,
Hmm.
and it was like they were doing a test because he walked down the same street in like normal, like an Adidas suit. No one gave a
Hmm.
shit. But then he come out with that thing with the chain, with the pocket watch and all that.
Hmm.
And it literally was stopping crowds, People were just like, oh shit, look at this guy, right? Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it'd be nice to be able to dress like that. I
If
mean,
you recall back when I was doing table breakers and gatekeepers, if I was hosting the show, I did that. I wore the tie, I wore the dress shirt, and my sport coat or my trench coat or whatever I had handy. And then Jackie kidnapped and took all my ties and my dress shirts because now he could fit into them and I couldn't.
ah,
So I got to do something about that for both of us because now he's growing out of them and um, I'm not.
maybe one of these days I'll start wearing. See, the problem is I paint. So if I was ever making a video where I wasn't also actually painting,
Hmm.
maybe I would throw my suit on.
Hmm.
I've got a black suit, black shirt, black tie, but the
Hmm.
vest is gold. And I've
Nice,
got a
nice.
pair of those black and
My
white, what do they call them? Wingtips.
Mhm,
When I dress up my suit, I'll wear black, white wingtips.
mhm.
And I get compliments on the shoes every time.
Yeah, I always do the black and red when I do something like that, and Jackie does the red and black. So um,
Yeah,
even
I
though
basically based the outfit I got on
three
kind
swords and
of
stones.
gross point blank and kind of The Weeknd, the singer.
Hmm.
So the gold tie come from the Weeknd, but the all black everything else.
That's
Yeah, no
mafia.
razor blades. Those kind of hats, a popular trick I have heard in Russia is back when they had the really big ruble coins, they would tuck the coin on the inside of the hat. And then if you swung at somebody with that thing, it lay them open because
Hmm.
you had that weight, that
Hmm. Like
coin.
like a sap, like sap gloves or a sap
Oh
or
yeah,
or a blackjack.
if you hit somebody in the face with that thing, it would bust them up pretty bad because you're putting like a 1 ounce coin metal on the inside of the sweatband that's on the inside of the hat, and bam.
Not
So
sure who you're talking about. Oh
it could be either of us.
no, most of my dragons are now uh, off the shelf. I used to have this shelf full of
Well, if
dragons.
he's talking about me, that kind of makes sense because if I tilt this up,
It's a Paladin
you can
Forge.
see up here there's a green dragon, a blue dragon,
Hmm.
and then here's a black dragon from Warhammer with an elf that rides it, and then there's a big freaking giant, and then right there is Tiamat. But I bought it like months ago. I still haven't painted it. And then, of course, some scattered stuff here. This box has my now completely operational and painted Blood Angels army for Legion
That
Imperialis.
that's DM James.
Uh,
So he's talking
and
about you.
then up here you can see these are a bunch of Oathmark armies that I made for Oathmark. That one right there is kind of a dragon. It's a T-Rex from Reaper. And the thing is, and I know Shadow loves hearing about this all the time, so that's why I always tell him. In Hyperborea, there are no dragons, but they call dinosaurs dragons, and there are lots of dinosaurs because it's Conan. Conan never fought a dragon. He always fought dinosaurs, but he thought they were dragons. You see what I mean?
Maybe in one of the magazines, but definitely not in the Gnome Press books or even the fan fiction by L. Sprague de Camp. Yeah, there was no dragons.
Yeah,
Um,
but he fought dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs and pterodactyls and all kinds of
I
crazy
remember
shit.
one story. He went way up on a mountain, uh, and he ended up getting attacked by a gigantic spider, and he ended up ripping like a big pyramid shaped stone out of the ground and throwing it down and crushing the gigantic spider. Do you remember that story?
Are you sure you're not talking about the giant slug?
No, this was a gigantic spider in a temple.
I don't remember the spider. I was just talking about the slug because in my top 10 list of wandering monsters that you're still working on,
Well,
one of
I've
my
added Scourge to it so far.
I put Sturge on mine, but one
Did
of
you?
my number 10, yeah, my number 10 was the giant slug in honor of Robert E. Howard's story where Conan had to fight the giant acid spitting slug because every campaign I run, there's always that encounter where they're in the ruins and all their weapons are useless because they're low level. Nothing hurts it because it's rubbery skin. So they have to go climb on top of one of the buildings and then just push part of the building down on top of the critter like Conan did to smush it. Uh,
All of
just to see if
mine.
anybody remembers, that story.
Yeah, I remember. Do you remember the one where he went way up on the mountains and he got attacked by hairless apes that had razor sharp scimitars? And the mist was so thick he could barely see, and they were
Hmm.
coming out of the mist, and he's
Was that when he
killing.
was on the island in the Sea of Valais or whatever that was?
I don't exactly. And all I know is he went way up on this mountain, and it got really misty,
Hmm.
and these creatures started attacking him. And when he finally killed one, they were just 100% like hairless chimpanzees, but they were all carrying these razor sharp freaking scimitars.
Hey, Mike, what's happening? I just saw an
Right.
article.
Homie.
I just saw
And
an
you don't got to
article.
apologize, Sword. I mean, for anything.
I just
But
saw an article where they're finding chimpanzees, or I think it's chimpanzees, are starting to actually make weapons, like
see,
spears and shit.
Coco got us. The Conan versus Giant Spider was a decamp story.
Okay, so that's why I don't remember. I've tried to. Yeah, they are James L. Which is weird. I found that out at a really early age. You can tell me.
Well,
Um,
slugs and snails both. If they
yeah,
can't find someone else to shoot their barb into, they can just do it to themselves. It's like,
that's
okay.
gross. I've tried to shut out, except for the Savage Sword of Conan, magazine and omnibuses that I'm reading, which I read for a completely different thing, and I kind of like, isolate them from the original stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm getting ready to get rid of my the old white paperbacks, this Elsprague de Camp and Lynn
I
Carter, I
remember
think it
those.
was. I'm getting rid of those books, so I just don't have them in my collection, and I can, get rid of stuff because it
Yeah.
just
A
now
lot
that
of those L. Sprague de Camp books were based on actual R.E. Howard stories, but you tend to clean them up.
well, and add a bunch of stuff,
Right.
you know,
And by clean
which
them up, I mean he tended to make them less gory because he was trying to
mm,
reach a younger audience.
mm, yeah. So
Oh, they're coming out with a second Oathmark. I mean, Oathmark 1 is amazing. It is my
you
go-to
know what?
ranked.
I might just throw my extra, the Coming of Conan. I've got two copies of it. I might just put that in the pile for the giveaway because it's not a cheap book. But I've got two copies, and kind of no point for that.
Hmm.
I'm not going to get a second set. Um, I should take that downstairs because the giveaway is in not this Saturday, but next if we can work it because Jackie's got a saber team event that he's been teaching saber for the students, which is kind of amazing at his age, and it, can't miss that. So,
Right.
but
Yeah, Shadow.
James Hill and I have a little contest going on. I have to get rid of 10 things besides the things I was already going to get rid of, and he's got to by the end of the year, I think we said, come up with a camera setup and stuff so that he can like play games online, like war games and board games, so people can
Oh,
come
there's a
over.
lot of programs for that now,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. So like literally, he and I, could go on Discord or whatever and play, any number of board and or war games, and he'll just move the pieces, and I'll just say, "You put me over there," kind of thing.
Yeah, James L. I love Oathmark because of everything you said, and I will never in a million years ever play Old World or buy anything from it because for the same reason I will never ever buy that Sigmar bullshit because the fact that they blew up the actual Old World and then made all of my fantasy armies basically useless and then came out with a stupid skirmish style fantasy game which was stupid and now they
Yeah,
come back
from
with
what
the
I
Old
understand,
World
it's
and
like
it's stupid. And I've got 4 armies for frickin' that are all old school. Like my Dark Elf army's at least 5,000 points, at least. I've got the witches with the altar of Cain with the dagger and the blood, the old one. Yeah, so they could
the
kiss my
only
ass.
the only Warhammer Fantasy Battle stuff I have left is Skaven,
I
which
have
I mean,
Skaven, but not an army. I've got like 50 of them though.
it's not an army either. It's just a bunch of the metal specialized pieces that were actually in here Advanced Hero Quest, and that's what box they're in. Is so that if I play, Advanced Hero Quest, I've got the regular Skaven that came with the box, and the
Hmm.
rifle team and
Yeah, the
the flank.
Giselle team, those guys used to be in old Warhammer Fantasy. They were brutal.
Yeah,
Giselle team is
but
like a
all the specialized,
7
the
attack.
rat ogre and stuff like that, because that game we were talking about the other day, that game was freaking awesome. It wasn't D&D, it wasn't uh,
Shadow, the thing is, I never had Hero Quest. I had Warhammer Quest. You remember that one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one
It was
came much
basically just
later.
like Hero Quest, but it was put out by Games Workshop.
Well, so was Advanced Hero Quest.
Right. So I'm not
It
sure
was
what
just
the difference
it
between
was
the
just
two are,
it was
but
just it was like advanced Hero Quest, what you're talking about,
yeah,
Warhammer
it
Quest,
was cool. I like
and
that.
uh, the one I was talking about is from that
Victor
era.
Emerald
You
out
know,
there.
it's from the era of Man of War and Battlefleet Gothic, maybe even a little earlier. But you know,
I have.
right after
I'll let you finish
Space
before I
Marine
brag.
Second Edition and 40K First Second Edition.
Shadow,
Yo,
I have all the necessary units for every single faction for Man of War.
I know, I know.
As a matter of fact, me and my brother, when we play that game, he plays dwarves, and I play Bretonian because they're the best. And the
You're not
last time
wrong.
we played, I ended up wrecking his ass, but it wasn't through gunfire. I just like boarded him and
That's
ended up
amazing
taking.
considering how their broadsides work. And you know, it's funny because I used to play broadside with my old man, the old Milton Bradley game with the blue and the red ships. Freaking loved the simplicity of that game. Played the hell out of it. And then when Man of War came out, played the hell out of that. I love, absolutely love making terrain for that game more than any other game
Oh
ever.
yeah, little islands and volcanoes and
Dude, you would.
castles.
I should send you my Man of War terrain that I made because I could just make it again because it was so easy. But I had some things that you'll never be able to find. But I've got extras. Um, and James L. just last night, was it last night, James? He sent me a PDF of the Man of War rule book and maybe more. I didn't go through the whole thing because that was like one
I
of
think
the
you
best
can get that
games of all time.
unscribed now, but I
Mhm.
have the actual paper ones, but you can get it unscribed.
Yeah, that's. I think that's
Yeah,
where he got it.
yeah.
And
First Light is a cheaper entry, but I like the minis. There are many decent knockoffs. I mean, if you've got the money and you like Call of Cthulhu, you buy Mansions of Madness Second Edition. It's
I've
a
been
much
looking
better
on.
game, and it comes with 100, like 100 figures.
I've been looking on, not AliExpress, but Etsy, Timu, even. You know our friend Armstrong from Mad Eye Miniatures. He got a Thunderhawk from Timu. Okay, it's like this freaking big, right? For like I want to say 60, $80 compared to the crazy price that would be elsewhere, and it's freaking gorgeous. It may not be GW, uh, but you know what? It's pretty freaking nice. So I've been going on places like that, Etsy, Timu. What's the other one? There's another place I've been looking for 3D prints of the bigger stuff that like you remember when the I
Hey,
forget what company it
Dakota.
was.
Sorry.
You got a long time no see, man. Remember a couple years ago there was that company that was making 3D printed traveler starships for 28 mil.
Yeah, that's what was that? First Destiny or something like that.
Yeah, and now I'm finding those for like half the original cost. They'll print them out for you. Um,
I got a ton of them. I think I sent Sean or some.
the 28 mil scale,
Nope. One, they're the 178 or
right?
whatever scale that Star
Mhm.
Wars X-wing was. That's the scale. So they're not the little tactical scale that you would actually use if you're playing the game. They're like you might use with. I mean, whatever. I printed out all the classic ones from the classic Traveler book and
I'll probably get those at some
sent
point.
those.
But I was looking at the Scout, the 200 ton free trader, and the 400 ton fat trader. to
I've
run.
got the Pat Trader. I've got the
Do you
Empress
remember?
Merkava.
Do you remember Snapshot?
I do. Boarding
Well,
actions in 15 millimeter.
yeah, it was actually my first Traveler game because it was a little bit cheaper, and I didn't know what I was getting, and I still have it right next to Traveler. You make up a really quick, like, half Traveler character, and there's a bunch of different missions, like, there's an alien loose on your ship, kind of mission, or boarding parties, little tactical Traveler combat game, scenarios. And I was thinking, that would be a whole lot of fun if you actually had the 400 ton, or excuse me, the 200 ton or the 100 ton, scout ship model on the table, and you just ran a bunch of those scenarios, on like a Saturday or something.
Well,
What's up, Cake or Death?
I don't know if you. I'll take cake, please. I don't know if you have looked at it at all because you were playing like Traveler 2025 or whatever.
Yeah, it was just it was regular Mongoose slash first edition
Just set in
Traveler
2025,
with
right?
a what it was me and the gang created an alternate, like, Earth timeline, going from the 2000s to 2525, because it was the year 2025, and we created this alternate version of the Earth solar system without Traveler being able to leave the solar system. They hadn't developed that technology yet, and so, well, maybe kinda, but it was like colony ships, and just the bare minimums of leaving the solar system. And we ran that game for many months until we finished up the story arc. And
Yeah, George was telling me how much he liked it. I think.
yeah, it was fun until a certain person lost their shit. Um,
Yeah, happens, man. The only reason I brought that up is because I recently picked up the Kafer books.
hmm.
So the 2300 war that takes place in the French arm, and they have a lot of stuff like you're talking about, like maps of. There's one adventure called Rescue Novi Kiev or Kiev Novi
Okay.
Kiev, which is New Kiev. That's a settlement that's on Aurora, and it's got like all the tactical maps and like everything
Yeah, my
for
my my
the
2300 is
adventurers
right
to go
here.
there.
I still haven't read it. I will. James L. I will be running a Traveler game on the Saturday night show, which is actually going to be Traveler 2424, 100 years before the events of the previous game. But it will be around Halloween, because it's going to be kind of a horror show, if you know what I mean. You're more than welcome to join. It'll be like Saturdays from like 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. my time. I hope that's my delivery. I've got a heavy Monday delivery.
Okay.
A couple of three different books, maybe my paints from Gnomish Bazaar, and hopefully tomorrow we got something really big coming in that I'm gonna
Well,
have to go to the
you need
big
to check.
table.
Go check.
No, everybody's home. Jackie and his mom are home because Jackie's got the flu. He was supposed to go to the dentist today, so his mom took the day off, or scheduled the day off so she could take him to the dentist. And 2 days before the appointment, he comes down with the freaking flu. So no
Life do
appointment.
be like that sometimes. So I've decided my albino carnivorous apes, I'm painting their skin black too. So they're gonna have, dirty white hide, but the skin will be uh, more like an
Um,
ape skin.
I'm gonna address this question, James L. You mentioned role playing style in your B&B game. Uh, apparently, what I prefer is as much role playing as possible till you get to like combat. If you've got like 4 or 5 players, maybe even 6 players, role playing out the combat, like role play, is just not conducive. People get pissed off. It's like, hey, just tell us what you do. You swinging or you're running. Yeah, I saw that. You're showing your butt, James. Um, but
For some
during
reason, these apes got bare asses. So
But like when
they,
you're doing everything else, I like uh, I like as much role playing as possible. But you can't do it 24/7 in the game because we play for 3 hour sessions online, and there's just no time. It's inconsiderate to the players around the table when they got to wait for
what are you doing, bud?
every single player to monologue.
Yeah.
For like 5 minutes in the middle of combat or some junk. Just let's move it
Oh,
along.
nice.
You know, um, if it's like only like a night where only a couple of people show up, then knock yourself out. Roll, ham it up, role play it up, cool. No disrespect to gay D&D. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't have the flu. I'm not getting the flu. I have told the flu to flu off because I'm not getting it. That's how it works in my house. That and because I quarantine everybody like I'm Chinese and I'll weld their bedroom doors shut.
Um, so you're talking about basically that 4D D&D we were talking about the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah. I like role playing. I like to actual role play, but when like when you've only got a limited amount of time and you got a bunch of players, you can't do it as much as you might like to unless the entire group says yes, let's do that tonight. Let's just role play the shit out of this because we're all in the mood, which never happens because you've always got some people in there that just want to play the adventure game style of we're going to go into the dungeon, we're going to kick down some doors, we're going to kill everything and take their stuff. Maybe we might talk to the boss monster so that we don't have to fight the 20th level lich like a couple of nights ago. We're like, yeah, we're gonna talk to this guy. Let's see if we can, not have to, make saving throws versus 20 die fireballs because, we'll die. And that worked out for them to a point. But like I said, when you got 2.5 hours to play, um, what does the group want to do? And sometimes members of that group get upset if they don't get to do it their way. And you can't blame them if they signed up for like a year long 6 month long campaign. They want to make some progress, they want to see some growth, they want to see some moving from place to place and whatnot. And so like talking to the tavern owner or going shopping, things like that. Just buy your stuff and let's move on. We don't need that. We've all bought rope and climbing gear before. We don't need to role play this out and try to save a couple of silver pieces on the deal. Just you know
Yeah, my players would hate that.
mhm.
One of their favorite
And-
things to go shopping.
oh really?
Oh yeah. Well, I have a lot of female players too.
Okay. So that
They want to go
anyone.
shopping. They want to try to get the best still ever. And they want to make friends with everybody in the town.
Mhm. That's another thing. Some groups literally don't give two shits about the NPCs and get actually upset if you role play the NPCs. And those players you have to quickly eject from your game. Otherwise, you're just their servant catering to their desires. And
Is that
that's,
me or Shadow?
I don't know, that's no fun for the DM. Uh, go find yourself another table where the DM has no desire to do anything except be around people and roll dice for you. Fuck that. I'm going to role play the NPCs. I'm going to role play the hell out of them. I'm going to have fun at it and show the other
Shadow's
players.
frozen. I know
Am I?
he's
Son of a bitch.
reconnecting. So
Am I still frozen?
nope.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
back. Everything's great.
I like playing the NPCs because that's how you can like, not just have some fun, playing different characters, but it's a great way to show like the other players who aren't like really good or comfortable role playing how to role play. Watch the DM role play the little kid down the street. Watch the DM role play like a female character and not make it weird. Watch the DM role play the bartender, or the shopkeeper and throw in an accent here or there, or the street urchins, or the king or the queen or whatever, so that the newer players, the more adventure gamer players can go, oh, okay, well, if the DM's doing it and I start doing it, no one's going to look at me weird, instead of looking at you weird because you're not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a player like you're talking about that hated NPCs.
Hmm.
It was like he thought they only existed to give quests.
Or to screw
And
you
if you
over.
talk to him any more than that, he would like get frustrated about it with the other players. He'd be like, "Why are you talking to that asshole?" It's like,
Well, because they want it to be all about them, and they've had the experience of where every NPC they ever trusted screwed them over. So I kind of do the exact opposite. Not that everybody loves them, but if you think about it, if you're going to run it like AD&D style, where everybody's a nobody, everybody is going to look up to you and be kissing your butt, right?
well, if you go into the town and you've got a sack of gold, you're going to be every merchant's friend for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But nah, see, in my campaigns, I've had players actually establish long-term relationships with NPCs.
They literally should, and if they don't, you should treat them like they have the three charisma that they're playing.
Right.
What good is the charisma score if you don't try to use it, in role playing, and maybe you don't pull it off to the ears of the people at your table. Maybe they're like, yeah, your role playing's kind of flat, but you've got a 16 charisma, so I'm going to bump that up and pretend like you were a little bit better at it than you were, and you don't tell them that, of course. Then you role play as if, okay, so I got a favorable reaction roll because of your bonus, so then you can start role playing the difference, that this particular NPC finds you favorable, so you can actually act friendly toward them, and they should have friends that aren't just the party. They should try to do these things and have relationships, and not just treat everybody like a freaking cardboard cutout that's there to hand them a quest and hand them a reward and nothing else. That you might as well be playing a video game if that's what you want.
Well, I mean, that's what they tried with fourth edition, right?
I don't know. I never read it.
It is basically analog World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I've probably been guilty of that kind of style, in the past. Oh, geez, sorry guys. I missed some of these comments. Hey, Dean, what's happening? Uh, because we can play all kinds of games at the table. There's
Right.
war games, there's adventure games, there's board games, etc. Need to have a pink butt on that ape.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that, but
Exactly, James L.
immersive role play. Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, Max. Well, what I'm not going to pronounce his last name. Mr. Max does the banana report. I showed the banana report to my wife in the car the other day, and she's like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "It's a friend of mine." And she's like, "Why is he doing this?" Because it's funny. And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "He does this every day. A different banana, different report every day, Monday through Friday. This is what he does." And she's like, "If people watching, I show her the numbers. Apparently, it's funny, deadpan, straight, ridiculous humor. Um,
Well, he's French,
yeah, I had. Well, she kind of figured that out. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
so
Uh, like you said there, James.
that
Oh,
might
uh,
appeal to French people. You might have half of Paris logging in every day just to see the banana report.
Swords and Stones, like James L says here, yeah, I would ham it up, but leave room for others. You're supposed to be playing, somebody different than yourself. So this is the part of the hobby where you get to like really try that out. Try on like think of it as like a costume, or a part in a play or a movie, and see if you like it. You might find that hamming it up is actually a lot of fun and kind of liberating in a way. You get out of your own head and into somebody else's, and
The only rule is don't
Ian
ever
wants
play
me to
an
play.
elf because elves suck.
Coco, you were phenomenal in every game I've ever run. I'm sorry that the B&B game fell apart, but there was a bunch of things going on in the back. People complaining about certain things and certain play styles, and I just had it up to here with the nonsense. So I'm gonna come up with some new games, but I've also discovered that weeknight games, unless you have like a really dedicated crew that's going to be there come hell or high water, is hard. Thursday nights are like cursed. Everybody I've ever talked to, Thursday night, just forget it. Don't even waste your time. Bears had that problem. Bloodworth's had that problem. I've had that problem. It's just like forget it because Friday's right there. And so what happens is the wife says you can just wait till Friday. Play Friday. It's Thursday. Let's sit and watch some mindless TV together, and that's what happens every freaking time.
Yeah,
So
there's a
Thursdays.
psychology behind that.
Oh yeah. It's called Happy Wife, Happy Life, or so
No,
I'm told.
no, no, not at all. Women, biologically and mentally, a woman cannot stand to see her husband not doing something for her because it makes him super insecure. And that's why a lot of guys, especially if you're young and you're dating a girl, you will notice sometimes that every time you sit down to paint a damn miniature, she'll come up and automatic and start wanting something. Like
Mhm.
the kind of person that waits until you sit down and then asks if you'll do something for them. And what it is it's just it's ingrained in their head. They think if you're not working, then you don't love them or some shit. It's wild, man. I've been studying a lot about psychology lately.
Mhm. Yeah, I did that in college, and I got to the point where it's like, no, this is the way I am. This is what I'm doing, and uh, that's just the way it's going to be.
I have almost come around almost to astrology.
Holy shit! Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not
Don't
going
do.
to,
Yeah, I
but
will unsubscribe. I'll just
but
unsubscribe.
what?
I'll unsubscribe.
You better not, you bastard. I'll freaking block you for threatening to unsubscribe. Um,
Well, you start practicing witchcraft. What do you expect, man?
I'm not practicing witchcraft. My wife showed me some
Astrology is
shit about
witchcraft,
which
people.
signs go together best. And you know what?
Astrology is witchcraft. Divination is witchcraft. Don't be doing that shit.
Oh my God, I'm getting yelled at by the freaking heretic over here. Anyway,
Yeah. I don't have that issue. The one I do have though is being woken up at 5:30 in the morning to be told somebody did something that could have been solved by not waking me up and just solving the problem, like pushing the button or some such.
see,
Like
but you're missing the point.
if it takes you longer to tell me what the problem is than to fix the problem, something else is the problem. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you know what the problem is? They want to see you do it because then they'll feel happy in their brain because you did it. It goes with acts of service. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I went in and fixed the toilet today because it got messed up and I
Mhm.
had to fix the bobber in it, right? My wife's a super genius. She could figure that shit out, but she wanted to see me do it. And now that I understand how shit works, I'm cool with it. I'm like, yeah, watch your man. I'll fix this shit. Flex at her a little bit, be like, yeah, you like that? It's just, I understand now. Sometimes I like to look at her and kind of be like, this body here, this is your playground, baby. And then she blushes and walks away. You should try that, Shadow.
Yeah, no.
It could work.
Uh, I have other ways of making things work. Um,
Oh, you do the helicopter dance?
I don't know what that is. I'm 100% certain I don't want to know what that is, but I don't know what that is.
I bet you the people in your chat know.
Never even heard of it.
Well, you are an innocent, naive young man.
Oh,
Not very
Jesus
new,
Christ.
not very worldly. That's why I hang
I
out
know.
with you.
I've never gone anywhere or done anything, and
That's why I hang out with you, because you're
just
so
just
innocent
just a big
that
old
somebody
nerd
needs to look out
playing
for
with
you.
my plastic toys here. And
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. You need me around to describe to you all of the depravity and stuff that I've seen when I was young.
I'm kind of bummed. Uh, we've not seen any Hungar on the show, at least in a while.
I could call him.
Yeah, I should call him. I got to call Squirrel later
Yeah,
because
you
he sent me
should.
some.
Like, you could call him right now and be like, "Hey, come on the show, man." He probably would for a little while, but he's just for some reason gotten to where he don't. Like, I have to practically yell at him and beg him to come on my show. See, but when I talk to him next time, I'm going to remind him that in less than like 30 days, I'm going to be up there. So he better make sure he's on my good side before that happens, because he ain't too old to get his ass whipped. That's a brother thing.
Yeah,
I could never do that though, because then my mom would pick a switch and whip me, and I don't want that. That sucks.
hmm
Hillbilly life be like that.
hmm
Anyway, though, Shadow, now that I've derailed your train of thought a little bit, um, yeah, I mean, I like immersive role play, and I have people in my group who also like immersive role play, but I don't go overboard usually with the NPC. I usually figure out like one or two things that would be memorable about the NPC. Like,
hmm
he might have really bad breath, or be missing teeth, or have a broken nose, or no nose, or just whatever makes him stand out from the last NPC.
hmm
Weird accent, maybe, or something. And you just go with that. But you don't really have to turn it into a freaking circus. Uh,
No, no, not at all. Like I
a lot
said,
of times less is more for gaming.
I've got a real simple formula. It's 33% role play, 33% exploration, and 33% combat. And by exploration and role play, I throw in mystery in there. You know,
Like a weird trap they've got to figure out or something.
or a who done it, or you know who's behind it, kind something for them to figure out and use their noodle to not just bash their way uh, through every encounter and every situation. It's not all combat. If it's all combat, um, you're doing something wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, that the campaign I'm running now is exactly kind of what you're talking about. I mean, it started out with the mystery, who's where all these people that are going missing going,
Mm-hmm.
and they ended up with the figuring of that out, and then running through the desert to try to save some people who had been kidnapped, and then finding a cult and fighting with the cult leader, which I thought would be a lot harder than it was, but the assassin just crept up behind him and stabbed his ass and killed him. But sometimes that
You do.
happens. They roll good, and what are you going to do? Try to take it away? No. Um, and they're currently trying
Oh
to
my god.
figure out who is actually in charge of the whole thing. Play Alec
Oh,
Guinness as if he's playing your character. Yeah, Alec Guinness, the
oh my
original
god.
Obi-Wan.
Can you see
Even though
this?
to be brutally honest, I do see that. Uh, your
That's
paint,
dry paint.
yeah,
That's dry freaking paint.
it's doing
Damn it.
something.
It dry. It turned into a plastic. And I love this army painter. Oh my god! I hope it's not the whole bottle. It looks like it's the whole bottle.
But James L, I have to admit, when it comes to Obi-Wan, that what's his name? The new Obi-Wan did a wonderful job pretending to be Alec Guinness playing Obi-Wan. That
Oh
is
shit!
nuts.
There is some liquid in there. Damn it!
What's that guy's name?
I know you're talking about
He was in Train Spotting.
uh, somebody out there in chat. He was also in what the hell was that movie? Dan Brown's book.
Hmm. I mean, he's a great actor. Just
Played the priest.
yeah, he's a great actor. But when it comes to playing Alec Guinness, he did an amazing job playing it because you could and I think the actor even said that when he got cast to play Obi-Wan, he just watched a lot of Alec Guinness stuff to like pick up the mannerisms and stuff so that he could basically just be Alec Guinness playing Obi-Wan. And it worked great. It worked great. Don't he was great in Train Spotting playing the heroin addict. Uh Ewan McGregor, that is the man.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
thank you.
Mike. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if I've seen too many movies with Ewan McGregor in it that I didn't like. Oh, Coco's got to get back to work. We will miss you, Coco.
Take
Um,
care, Coco. Hopefully, I'll get to game with you again real soon. With
yeah, I hope you two do.
different cast of characters for obvious reasons.
Mm. Well, Coco's a good guy. I like Coco.
Coco's one of the best role players I've met in a long time.
Is he?
Um, oh yeah, he's phenomenal. He's
See,
absolutely a
I don't
joy to
run
play
games
with.
online, so I'll take your word for it.
There's some other people that are really good, but there's also some people that I've played with lately that absolutely despise it, and I'm like, um, you say you're a role player, you want to take that part off your resume and just put adventure gamer. No one's gonna care,
Well,
um,
my brother is both.
dude. I've been playing D&D for almost 50 years. I get it. Sometimes like when I'm in a game, I don't want to role play. I just want to kill shit and get their stuff. Period.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. It's literally that simple. The trouble is being honest about how you feel when you get to the table.
Okay, that's fair.
If you're in the mood to not role play, just say that. Hey guys, I had a rough week. I just want to kill shit and take their stuff. Can we do a bunch of that tonight? Is that cool with everybody? See how easy that was? Or hey guys, can we amp up the role playing tonight a little? I feel like that, and if
Well,
you've
you
got
could be
honest good
like
friends at the table,
you
they'll
could be
give
like
you
the
their answer.
DM from
What?
Gamers when they all sit down to play, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna pick the campaign up here, and I hope you got your dice ready." And the players are like, "Ooh, that means we're gonna have combat." And it's like, anyway, the first Gamers was the best.
Never saw it. I never watch any, like, almost. I don't think I can't even think of any, like, um, live plays I watch,
It's not live play.
or movies or TV shows that are about gamers. I
Yeah.
can't think of any that I've ever watched, um, because I
Okay,
would rather
Gamers
watch.
one, and I know I'm cutting you off a lot. I apologize. Gamers
So,
One is a bunch of kids from like University of Michigan
okay.
filming themselves as their characters playing through a D&D campaign. But every
Okay.
now and then it flashes back to these nerds sitting around the table. And they basically get up to all kinds of shenanigans. And they hit like at one point, the mage gets killed. And they're like, you got to make a new mage. And like the first mage was called Ambrosius or some shit. And the
Okay.
second mage was called like, a totally different name.
Okay.
But there's the whole, okay, I've made my new mage character. And then they go back into the game and the mage is just standing there. And like the ranger's like, you look like a trustworthy person. Would you like to join our group? And the mage is like, yes, my name is whatever he says. And they're like, okay, come with us. And for the rest of this little show, they call him Brosis or whatever. And he keeps correcting them because so it's
Hmm.
like goofy shit like that. These
Yeah,
college.
I was thinking about that the other day. The replacement character that's just the same character. You know,
I don't care
which
for it, but you know,
you can't blame the party or the player for that. If your cleric dies, you're getting a new cleric,
you
and
hope,
if the
yeah.
player and if the player playing the cleric is the same guy playing the new cleric, guess what? Chances are, it's going to be 50% or more of the character that just died. So I kind of wonder. It's like, I could see the logic behind, well, then why kill him? Kind of, plot armor. But at the same time, it's like that's not fair to anybody who
No,
came to the
definitely kill
table,
them.
or
Always.
the spirit of the game. If you die, you die. Hey, Janet, long time no see. Uh, Hope you had
Janet
a good
from another
weekend.
planet, part
It was
two.
fun hanging out in your and James' chat the other night. Um, I
Well,
would have joined, but I was burnt from my own show, I think.
uh,
Um,
Janet is a
a
lot of fun.
national treasure.
A lot of fun. She's a lot of fun to hang out with.
Mhm.
Her and Bruce.
Excuse me. Absolutely. I'm gonna try and be on her show one of these Fridays because I've got a lot of Friday games that like fall through because uh, players can't make it, kind of thing. And if I know that's going to happen ahead of time, Janet, I'll hit you up. I hope you watch those videos that I sent you because one of them will make you laugh your ass off, and the other one will make you go, hmm.
She don't watch videos you send her.
Nobody watches videos other people send each other.
I know.
Yeah.
I've sent her videos too.
Um, although I did watch this video James L sent me.
Oh damn. James L
Uh,
should feel special. Somebody watched a video.
he sent me this really cool video on die-cast cars from China for war
Oh,
games, like say Gaslands or you know name a military modernist sort of war game like where you'd have like Humvees and things like that because these Chinese companies make these die-cast metal cars that are like perfect for it, and they're going to look better than, in my opinion, than a lot of the model kits. Like I put this one together. Okay, it's kind of cool, but it looks like a painted miniature. You know what I'm saying?
well, it'd be perfect for Gaslands.
But when you pull these other die-cast cars out of the box, they have the metallic finish that a metal, like a painted Jeep, would have that you can't get uh, without being like a really, really skilled painter and spending like hours and hours and hours to get that finish where you could literally pull this matchbox like car out of a wrapper, out of the box, whatever, and it's ready to put on the table and looks better than you could do, and it'll cost you like $4.
That's actually inexpensive because if you go to like
Mm-hmm.
the Hobby Lobby, they have Matchbox cars there that are cheaper, but they're the crappier ones.
Yep.
But if you're willing to pay like 5 or 6, $7, you can get like the really good ones that have actual rubber tires and And
Well,
you can
it's
buy
just
tire sets and
then
everything.
throw in the time spent on painting it, right? Like
What scale is Matchbox? Is that
I,
1/64?
or 148. Thanks,
No,
Janet.
148 is really much
Real
bigger
soon that will happen. Promise. If you
because
factor in
28 millimeter or 25 millimeter is 156.
okay,
The bigger the second number, the smaller the thing. So 172 is 20 mil. So, and then most Navy games are like 1,000 and something. That's why you can have the Bismarck and it's like yay long.
I was
Uh,
actually looking at. You guys probably don't remember, but Superior Models used to make a line of World War II battleships,
nah,
and I was thinking about maybe picking some of those up. I did not see those, Janet. You must be talking to James.
James
Um,
L. probably.
maybe. But I was thinking about it. Like I'll spend like just that little car I showed you now. I've already spent like 2 or 3 hours on that. Okay, and it's nothing to write home about. But if I was like getting paid, minimum wage to paint that, I would have already made $30 painting that thing. And for $30, what could I pick up in the way of die-cast cars? Let's say take out like $10 for shipping. I'd probably pick up four vehicles that I could just slap on the table and go, I'm ready to go. Because I also learned that there are, we know there's gaslands where there are games where you just blow each other up on the racetrack or on the road. But there's also games like the old bookshelf games and new stuff where it's literally just a racing game where you're racing a Formula One or some such, and that's a game. I can see how people could get into that. I'd rather play a video game, race car game, but other people maybe they're not so good. Hand-eye coordination, but up here they know they could be the next Mario Andretti or whatever.
Well, I mean, if you're really hardcore, you can use your Matchbox cars. Granted, you'd have to find some weapons to fit them, and you could play a nice, relaxing game of Dark Future.
Dude, I would pay some serious money um, to be able to do that. I remember back in the day opening up the box of Epic, the big giant square box of Epic miniatures, on the sprue, and then seeing the ad for Dark Future going, what? Six Mad Max vehicles in a box for $20 or $15 or whatever. Yeah, yeah, I want to do that. And by that time they were
I
already
got a couple of boxes of the cars,
I,
and
I
it was
never I
really
never even
cool
saw
because
one in the wild.
it came with like a couple of motorcycles, and then a couple of car chassis that were like almost, I don't know, Formula One. They were real kind of like futuristic and slick. And then it
I
came with
never
some cars that were like armored up dune buggies.
never even saw them in the wild, not even once. I
Yeah,
looked high and low. I looked on eBay and the prices are insane. It's one of the most expensive Games Workshop thing you could try to find
yeah,
next
they put that
to
out for like 15 minutes. They're like, "Hey, we got this game. Never mind."
uh-huh.
Like,
It was like
it's
Mighty
worse than
Empires.
Manowar, man.
You remember Mighty Empires?
I do.
Never got to play that either. That's a different story because sure it might cost you like $250 to get the game, but there's no expansion, so you got the game. You're good to go. It's kind of like Space Hulk. You could
Yeah.
grab it and never buy anything else and still play the crap out of that game. Every couple of months, it's like, hey, let's play some Space Hulk. Cool. Done playing Space Hulk. Want to play something else?
Well,
Yeah. You
you
know.
know my homie Holy Diver, right?
Mhm.
He's playing Mighty Empires.
Oh
He
my
was
God,
painting
I'm
up
so jealous.
a Mighty Empire. I think there's 6 mil or whatever Bretonians.
No,
Couple,
it's like smaller. It's like much smaller. Uh,
yeah, like you've got like a stand, and all the guys are just sitting there with their shields and spears or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like a tiny little army on one base. That's
It's
your
like
army.
epic. It's like epic.
No, it's way smaller.
they canned Epic because it only sold 1 million copies. Yeah, and imagine that. Even back then, when you could buy Epic for like $69, that's $69 million. True
James said
Detective
you
season one is the best miniseries of television ever. And season five that is coming out will be bringing back Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
Jackie actually watched it, said I would like it, but I'd have to watch it when mom wasn't around.
I don't know what your wife's situation is. So,
If people are kissing, she's covering somebody's eyes.
oh, people are kissing. So yeah, she'll have a hard time with this one then. Woody Harrelson's cheating on his wife, and yeah, they let you
Yeah,
know he
how
is
how
too.
Jackie was able to watch it and nobody knew, I don't know, but he managed to watch several seasons of it, or at least the first season. Said it was good, but a little much for even him when it comes to that sort of thing. And I'm like, well, wait till you get
There's
older.
really, honestly, in the whole damn series of season one, there's maybe 2 sex scenes, and none of them last more than like a couple minutes. But
A couple of
they,
minutes.
like 2 minutes.
There's a
But
joke
they
in there
could be
somewhere.
pretty graphic. They do the we're getting ready to do this thing, fade to black thing a lot.
Hmm.
Like cut to other scene. So you don't actually see anything, which is good because I don't want to see anything. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Oh, you sent photos from a set with Matthew McConaughey. I love Matthew McConaughey.
He's all right.
All right, all right, all right.
I honestly,
And
right
I
now
really
there's
like
like
Woody Harrelson too.
less than five actors I can tolerate anymore that are alive. Just because I'm so jaded with the Epstein files and other things that I know from previous experiences that I just can't. It's just like
Yeah, I
I
get
know
that.
they're up to no good, and I don't want to know. And eventually I find out, and I'm like, yeah, I thought so.
All right.
There's like literally nobody I ever suspected of weirdness that I was wrong on. You know,
I suspect you of weirdness. You're very
yeah,
weird.
but that was a long, long time ago, and I
Well,
got
I
I
think
got
we
better.
might be talking about different kinds of weirdness.
Yeah.
You're just that weird guy that refuses to accept that Conan can be many things instead of just, one specific thing.
No, I just have.
Cut the train
I,
going
I
through
was
tunnel. That was in a movie, wasn't it?
That was in a lot of them. That was like the trope for a long time, which was actually, um,
And then the Bloodhound Gang has the video where the one dude's driving a car that looks like a giant banana, and he's just driving through tunnels and shit. And the whole time they're singing Foxtrot Uniform Charlie Kilo. That's the actual chorus.
mhm,
And so anyone who was ever in the military knows phonetic alphabet.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah, they know what they're talking about.
mhm.
Dun, 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 dun. I like the Bloodhound Gang, all right, from back in the day.
Allegra Productions. What?
Okay, that happens like one time, and Woody Harrelson's wife did it to make Woody Harrelson's character like
That's one of them. James L. You know me so well. James
uh
Purefoy. He probably has to fly economy and didn't touch anyone's bathing suit area.
I don't know who James Purfoy is.
He played Solomon Kane.
I don't remember him.
Did you not watch Solomon Kane?
I did, but I don't
He
fade.
was Solomon Kane.
Yeah, it fades. I mean, to me, I watch Simon Kane. He's a white guy with a freaking big hat.
Oh, dude, he was phenomenal. That was literally like my favorite movie I've watched, like new movie in like 5 to 10 years.
Listen, if it's not Ryan Gosling, I don't give a shit.
He also played Cantos Can in John Carter, which was another one of my favorite characters in that story. So
Are you talking about the bad guy?
no, John Carter's like best friend, best Martian friend, the guy who
Oh, the
like
guy that helps John Carter escape. And
exactly, yeah, he's just got that face, that's just
see,
like
now I know who you're talking about because I
because he
remember
didn't
him a
have all
lot
the
better
hair in the
from
way.
John
He
Carter
had
than
that
I
big
do.
goofy grin. Oh,
What
he
did
was
he
also
do?
Mark Anthony in HBO's Rome. Yeah, I could see him totally doing that.
What did
Um,
he do that everybody's hating on him?
Nothing. That's just it. He's like one of the few actors that we suspect of being like, not a pervert.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I thought you were
No, no, no. Yeah, the
okay,
exact
Shannon.
opposite of what you thought. One of the few guys
I'm
who's
going to be getting
probably
off of here in a little bit, and then I
yeah,
will
me
look
too.
at the
You know what? Let's
picture.
do it now because it's 10:30. I normally only go an hour to hour and a half, and I got to
How
use
long
the
have we
restroom.
been on
Anyways,
here?
hour and a half.
Okay, cool. It's good
I'll
to
see
see
you
you,
later,
Shannon.
everybody out there. Have a great day, Janet. One of these Fridays we'll do the thing. Everybody else who showed up will also do the thing
Giggity.
tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Have yourself a wonderful day. Don't get sick. Love you guys. Happy trails.